My name's Duddits, I do builds and stuff. Hunter build today that puts out some absolutely insane damage. One-shotting things left, right and centre. I'm combining Solar Hunter with Radiant, weakening and Radiant at the same time, and I'm going to be featuring some extremely powerful weapons for long-range destruction. I'm also pairing it up with a Fortune's Favour for a Void Overshield, i.e. Void buff, 20% damage increase, something sniper. This thing is absolutely incredible with that perk. New Land Beyond, Wailing Ovation, and can also use things like Izanag and Parasite for some massive damage increase. Like I said, I'm combining weakening effects and Radiant at the same time, and 20% damage from Fortune's Favour to create a very iconic Hunter build, long-range assassin. Stay with me, I'll break it down. Survivability is going to be my first port of call. I'm running the armor set Favour. When your shields begin to regenerate, you gain flinch resistance and damage resistance for a short time. That's a 2-piece and a 4-piece. While your reserves are low, combat final blows with weapons provide additional ammo. Primary ammo gives special ammo gives heavy ammo. It all works nicely. The 2-part is a bit underrated. What it states is when your shields start to regen, you get resist. But it's any regen. So anytime your health starts to regen, you're going to get a resist there. And it's 7 seconds for 10%, which is really good because you're going to be regenerating your health quite a lot on this particular build. So it works with anything every time your health starts to regen, which obviously opens up some things that have been buffed on a Hunter. On your mark, you are going to get Cure on that when you times 10. Your 2-piece Favour is going to work with that. So it's actually buffing out all healing. So every time you get times 10 on your mark, every kill that you get, any weapon, doesn't have to be precision, anything like that, you're going to get Cure, which will then proc that 10% damage reduction as well. It also works with other things like Devour on other builds, Ember of Resolve, Solar Grenade, Final Blows Cure You. That and on your mark are both going to keep proccing that 10% damage reduction. And you've got your Tripman Grenade, Gunpowder Gamble, things like that. So you'll see here, get that kill, resist. Every time your health starts to regen, basically, you're going to get that. You got your Gunpowder Gamble, Tripmans. That's just another way of healing. And getting to full health is very important for the Fortune's Favour after landing a final blow while at full health. So you need to get to full health quite a bit, or when out of combat for an extended duration, your shields will slowly recharge into an overshield. When you have an overshield, you get weapon stats and you get a 20% damage increase. It pairs really nicely with some weapons in the game. Quite a lot of weapons, but I believe you should go with hard-hitting weapons nowadays. Something Kinetic Sniper is actually something special. It's really good, especially Adhesive Ordnance perk. It's really strong collecting an ammo. It loads an explosive round. And it exhausts as well, so that's a bonus. You've also got the All-Star perk on there as well. This is something you can also run. But I like the perk that I showed first, that Adhesive Ordnance. This thing is absolutely huge with Fortune's Favour. So 661. All I'm going to do, I ain't got my Fortune Favours on in that clip. I'm going to stick these on, just wait for a few seconds. So I do apologise, you're just going to have to wait for a few seconds until I get that Overshield. Now, the first shot I took not even 20% of his bar. Now, watch what happens once I have got my Fortune's Favours on and throw my knife. Look at the state of that, and it actually destroyed a couple of ads around him as well. Singularity Blade is where it's at, because you're going to have a Void Overshield, i.e. Void buff from your Fortune's Favour, and then your melees will weaken, which is giving you 15%. You get 20% from Ember of Torches, so 20% Radiant, 15% weakening, plus your Overshield. Now, Marksman's Dodge is what I want to be using on this build because of the perk on the Sniper. Because the Adhesive Ordnance says you have to collect ammo to get that effect. So, Marksman's Dodge, collect all nearby ammo. Instead of having to run around like I am doing there, run that, and then it's going to be a lot better. And it reloads all your weapons, and it's just good in general anyway. And then you can see there, very easy sort of proc. So just to clarify, I've got my Fortune's Favour 20%, Weakening and Radiant all working at the same time. So just quickly there, instead of having to run around and pick it up, which isn't ideal, just do your dodge, and that's going to learn that little explosion, and it's absolutely insane. I'm just going to go back a step just for a second. Another one to run is Elemental Siphon. Rapid final blows with a kinetic or weapon that matches your super. Creates an elemental pickup that matches your equipped super. This works really nicely for your health and survivability with Ember of Mercy, because you're going to pick up that Fire Sprite, and that will start your restoration plus your cure, and on your mark and your Ember of Resolve. That's just another way when you don't have your Overshield to start your health regen, which is very important, and get the resist. Praxic Blade is one you can use with this build, but you've probably seen loads of them. Izanagi's Burden is another one. Long Range Assassin, this is what this build is about. Not close range, you've got NooLvL Beyond, things like that. All of these with that Void Overshield buff and the weakening, they all slap. Like I said, you can run Praxic Blade, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and have some long range damage. Now, NooLvL Beyond with the seasonal artifact perks this season feels absolutely incredible. I am not joking yet, it feels so strong. And again, you've got that weakening. Your NooLvL Beyond the Master and everything else going on. Guys, it's an absolute joke. Especially with some of the seasonal artifact perks. Expert Handling, Weapon Final Blows, grant a stacking bonus to stability and reload. You've got reload at range, precision hits with bows and sniper rifles, grant a stacking bonus to their reload speed. Mechs all snipers feel incredible. And then obviously Sniper's Meditation to add on top of all of that damage. Your weakening, your radiant, your buff from fortunes, guys. Other options as well. Whirling Ovation absolutely slaps. You've got things like Sleeper you could run, things like Augurs, things like Parasite. All of these things are going to be excellent. There's some really good legendary options as well. So all of these are absolutely huge. Just got a quick clip to show you of the Whirling Ovation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it absolutely destroys when you've got that weakening and everything else going on. Your Radiant and your Fortune's Favour buff. It's just crazy. So plenty of survivability, quite a lot of resist, loads of healing and damage. So I'm just going to go back on the healing a little bit now. You mark 10. Once you're at your mark 10, I know I've got a Void Overshield in this clip at the moment. But when you don't have that Overshield, if you just sort of imagine, I don't have an Overshield in this clip, for example, you're going to have that times 10 on your mark, all your cure, all your Ember of Resolve working, etc. Kinetic Rupture is too good not to use. Kinetic weapon damage against a powerful combatant has a chance to create a kinetic rupture. And if you shoot that, it does loads of damage. So that with the adhesive ordnance, you could actually do a couple of cool things. You can kill like 4 or 5 enemies with one bullet. And then if you want to do extra damage, just shoot that spot there. And that is just absolutely massive for kinetic weapons this season. Quick clip of just some normal stuff really. And then I'm going to shoot working in the Grandmaster as well. Just total destruction. Like I said, you can actually use this build with a Praxic Blade as well. But I have actually got a Praxic Blade build which is better than this. That is going to be coming later on tonight or tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that one. But pure destruction, and it's really good just for like if you wanted to sort of like getting rid of bosses fast, speeding up the runs, couple of shots with your sniper, get your Whirling or your Parasite or something like that, and just watch this clip here. What happens to this overload? He just disappears. Bosh. Like I said, there's loads of different weapons you could consider with this build as well, like Izanagi's, but I really like this something and the Whirling Ovation setup. But again, you could also pair it with Parasite, etc. Loads of different things you could pair it with. And then a quick clip. I've got loads more GM gameplay to show you, but I'm just going to show you my fragments first. Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks make you radiant. Free 20% damage increase. You've also got Solace to make that 15 seconds radiant instead of 10. We are also running Ember of Mercy, which we've featured. Picking up a Fire Sprite will just start your healing. And then Ember of Searing, defeating scorched targets will also create a Fire Sprite and give you melee energy, which is very good for your radiance. And then Ember of Resolve, which we're focused on to get healing on your grenade kills as well. So I've got some GM gameplay now, and this boss's health, very, very fast. It gets down to about half, and then he starts getting blocked, but you can sort of see there how much damage you're putting out at a distance, and you're actually quite safe as well with that Void Overshield. That's not really what I focused on, but you do actually get quite a lot of free DR with the Void Overshield as well. And then if your Void Overshield does go, you've got all that healing and the resist from the 2-piece Favour just to help you get that Overshield back up as quick as possible. And again, just watch this barrier champ. He just gets absolutely destroyed. So I'll show you my stats. I think I could have possibly built into more intellect, so my super was a bit better, but what I actually wanted to do was build into grenades, so I had like a decent grenade stat. I'm going to farm a few more gear out, bits of gear. Your golden gun deadshot applies scorch, and so does your marksman, so it's not the total end of the world. So you could actually go 2 ways with it. You could have build into your grenades or your super, as long as you have like a 130, 150 weapon stat. The other thing I forgot to mention as well, which I've mentioned in quite a lot of videos, once you're at a ×10 on your mark, it gives you plus 50 weapon stat as well. So that's just another thing to take into consideration. But we managed to do these GMs and a couple of conquests without too many issues. And I won't say it's my absolute favourite way to play, but I definitely enjoy playing at a distance. I've done a couple of New Land Beyond builds and Izanaga's builds in the past. Fortune's Favour, for me, it's perfect for that type of play. And yeah, it's actually buffing out your kinetic damage because you've got all that stuff about your kinetic damage. Obviously, it buffs out all weapons. But prior to the Fortune's Favour, we didn't actually have anything that buffs kinetic damage. So really, kinetic weapons have got a massive buff with this. That's just the way I see it. But that's the video. Let me know what you think. Absolute destruction. Have a great day.